It didn't even occur to me that I was already suffering from erectile dysfunction and premature ejaculation myself. Upon my first observation of the damage, I quickly attributed it, with the help of my little monster, to A, the occasional opposition to foreplay by my partner, B, to the less than ideal partner, my brain, C, some silly grudge about my past stopping me to prepare us to mood setting, or D, my boss, customer, etc., etc. When it happened again, my little monster brain gave me a BS mix of the above combo, which I don't even want to waste your time with. It never occurred to me that none of these would have stopped me before. So I decided that I need stamina practice, since I figured that a toy which comes close to real vaginas will train me in getting hard and to avoid premature ejaculation. I later came to read about premature ejaculation being the result of poor training of the reward circuits. If one's goal is orgasm, then getting hard is not a requirement with masturbation. That being avoided enough times sets up water slides in your brain, and you grease it real nice every time you ride the slide. You can dispute this, but I'm going to take Pascal's wager and quit. I lose very little, gain big, and avoid losing big. When you don't get hard or have unreliable erections, it's a signal that your mind wants it more than your body, most times. Also of note is my peevishness and melancholy, anger, irritability, and moodiness, depression. I told myself that I am a negatively oriented Virgo. While many Virgos are predisposed to think and act negatively, I failed to notice that actually I am a pretty optimistic guy. In fact, the many times I had not gone along for the porn waterslide ride due to external events, even though I had wanted to, I noticed that I did not get affected big time. Remember again Pascal's wager. But looking back at my life, I have to say that I have been an achiever, in spite of the self-sabotage of porn masturbation orgasm and its constant drag. That must be due to the training of tempering my predisposition and keeping the negatives to toned down healthy negatives of disappointment, sorrow, concern, annoyance, sadness, regret, frustration, caution, vigilance, irritation, etc. I am sure that I am an optimistic and positive guy. How else could I explain that I kept going in spite of my tripping myself with porn masturbation orgasm? I have been in the stock market and have advised my friends and colleagues. I would show my hands in real investments and trades. Most of the macho guys would not bring themselves to pull the trigger at those times when I did with no fears, but of course with due vigilance and caution. I know a person close to me who would masturbate every day at least once. He had no access to porn and was using static magazines and his own imagination. Now, looking back, I wonder if this person lost his life's joy to porn masturbation orgasm. He would always be quick to anger, and his irritation trigger levels are always very low. Any day-to-day stress will tick him off. He had a secure government job that demanded little from him, and so he was lucky to survive until his retirement. Lucky? Maybe not. Anyway, I am sure his reward circuit had long since shut down signals to his receptors, and his dopamine and opioids have much diminished effectiveness. You might conclude that I am something of a hypochondriac. I believe that I was when I was a porn masturbation orgasmer. One of the great evils about addictions, such as these, is that it fools us into believing that the cigarettes, the alcohol, porn masturbation orgasm, etc., give us courage, when in fact it gradually and imperceptibly dissipates it. I was shocked when I read about a confessor who felt suicidal at 19 due to porn masturbation orgasm. Little did I realize that 20 years later, I would have exactly the same lack of joie de vivre. You might conclude that this chapter has been one of necessary or unnecessary doom and gloom. I promise you, it is the complete opposite. I used to fear death when I was a child. A bit later, I used to believe that smoking, drinking, and porn removed that fear. Perhaps it did. If so, it replaced it with something infinitely worse, a fear of living. Now my fear of dying has returned, yet it does not bother me. I realize that it only exists because I now enjoy life so much. I don't brood over my fear of dying any more than I did when I was a child. I am far too busy living my life to the full. The odds are against my living to 100, but I'll try to. I'll also try to enjoy every precious moment. There were two other advantages on the health side that never occurred to me until I had stopped porn masturbation orgasming. One was that I now wake up refreshed in the morning. The subtle, well-rested feeling is something sort of what you'd experience after a fever had left you. I get that almost every day, but of course some nights are not going to be perfect. I had accepted that there is nothing outside of us that we need to enjoy or cope in our lives. The other was the acceptance of the void in our lives. Those insecure feelings, the emptiness. From what I learned, that is after removing porn masturbation orgasm from my life, I could see that these three are present in everyone's lives. Yes, that includes the playboys and the pickup artist Max as well. I think they are like the nights that serve to enhance our days. Yes, it is a well-known insight. But then, I know of many insights which have never translated to any value to my life. After I quit, it all fell into place. Look, I am not a saint or a guru, but I am not panicking and seeking substitutes when I feel the void, or insecurity, or emptiness. There are no outside things that will be a pleasure or crutch. Here's a thought experiment for you. Let's say a woman comes to you and says she doesn't necessarily want an orgasm, but, however, she very much wants to make love, even penetrative. And she wants to do it for as long and as far as you can go without an orgasm. But if it happens, then it's fine. I assure you of a great new experience. Far better than anything in your life, if you even get that offer. Try it. Porn masturbation orgasmers also suffer the illusion that the ill effects of internet porn and porn masturbation orgasm are overstated. The reverse is the case. There is no doubt that internet porn is the major cause of porn-induced erectile dysfunction and other problems. The trouble is that in many cases where porn masturbation orgasm causes erectile dysfunction, or is a contributory factor, it is not blamed on porn masturbation orgasm in the statistics. It has been estimated that more than 25% of men experience erectile dysfunction or premature ejaculation. And yet I wonder how many divorces have been caused by porn masturbation orgasm. There are no reliable ways to know the number of internet porn users within the study group. The studies usually mix up traditional and internet porn users and have no way to account for the starting age of the participants, years of use, duration and frequency of usage. There is no way to conduct blind or double-blind methods either. I was a safe user of internet porn, if there is anything safe about it. However, I noticed that I invariably projected porn fantasies on real-life women. Like the episodes in Friends, where the guys who were receiving continuous free porn on TV started to wonder to each other why the pizza delivery girl didn't ask to check out their big bedroom. Imagine what careless or even accidental porn exposure on the darker sides of the internet would do to someone who is already at a tipping point in his or her life. Fighting against these porn-induced thoughts, PIT, porn-induced thoughts, porn themes crossing over to normal interactions, is going to be a major drain on his or her mental health. The effect of the brainwashing is that we tend to think like the man who, having fallen off a 100-story building, is heard to say as he passes the 15th floor, "So far, so good." We think that as we have gotten away with it so far, one more porn masturbation orgasm session won't make the difference. Try to see it another way. The habit is a continuous chain for life, each session creating the need for the next. When you start the habit, you light a fuse. The trouble is, you don't know how long the fuse is. Every time that you give up to a porn masturbation orgasm session, you are one step nearer to the bomb exploding. How will you know if it's the next one? Energy. Most porn masturbation orgasmers are aware of the effect that this progressive process of porn masturbation orgasm, leading to novelty and escalation seeking, has on their brain's reward circuits and their sexual system. However, they are not so aware of the effect it has on their energy level. One of the subtleties of the porn masturbation orgasm trap is that the effects it has on us, both physical and mental, happen so gradually and imperceptibly that we are not aware of them and regard them as normal. It is very similar to the effects of bad eating habits. The potbelly appears so gradually that it causes us no alarm. We look at people who are grossly overweight and wonder how they could possibly have allowed themselves to reach that state. But supposing it happened overnight. You went to bed weighing 180 pounds, trim, rippling with muscles, and not an ounce of fat on your body. You awoke weighing 180 pounds, fat, bloated, and pot-bellied. Instead of waking up feeling fully rested and full of energy, you wake up feeling miserable, lethargic, and you can hardly open your eyes. You would be panic-stricken, wondering what awful disease you had contracted overnight. Yet the disease is exactly the same. The fact that it took you 20 years to reach that state is irrelevant. So it is with porn masturbation orgasming. If I could immediately transfer you into your mind and body to give you a direct comparison on how you would feel having stopped internet porn for just 3 weeks, that is all I would need to do to persuade you to quit. You would think, will I really feel this good? Or what it really amounts to, had I really sunk that low? I emphasize that I don't just mean that you would feel healthier and have more energy, but how you would also feel more confident and relaxed and better able to concentrate. As a teenager, I can remember rushing around just for the hell of it. I was interested in reading. I had set up a chemical lab, tried fixing old CRT TVs, dabbled with cooking, etc. I was fascinated by scientists. Then I got attracted to makers and doers of the rag-to-riches lives of real people. I had the inner push, and I knew I had it. I then was introduced to print porn. Then came music television channels, followed by static computer images. By this time, I was permanently tired and lethargic. Then came internet porn of images and downloadable movies. I used to struggle to wake up at 9 o'clock in the morning. After my evening meal, I would already be thinking about porn before going to bed. Even when I had a girlfriend. Sex with her was a chore, but porn masturbation orgasm with internet porn had all the novelty, shock, etc. No one can match that lure. And then the internet upped its game with tube sites, cataloged porn genres, hearting favorites, and all in lightning speed, high quality, no traces of downloads. Even the browsers went incognito, thoroughly helping me to cover my tracks. Reward with no pains. By this time, the lack of energy, tiredness, and everything related to it is nicely swept under the rug of getting older. My friends and colleagues by this time are all living sedentary lives. I thought this behavior was normal. I believed that energy was the exclusive prerogative of children and teenagers, and that old age began in the early 20s. I did not notice that I was paying attention to my health in general by eating right, which they did not. But I did not notice that anomaly. Shortly after I stopped porn masturbation orgasm, I was relieved that this foggy and muggy feeling left me. For example, I can keep a steady gaze with my eyes on just about anything for a long time. If I'm looking into someone's eyes, it's even longer. However, something truly marvelous and unexpected also happened. I started waking at 7 o'clock in the morning, feeling completely rested and full of energy, actually wanting to exercise, jog, and swim. I have read about a 48-year-old who couldn't run a step or swim a stroke. The only sporting activities were confined to such dynamic pursuits as green bowling, affectionately referred to as the old man's game, and golf, for which he had to use a motorized cart. But after quitting porn masturbation orgasm, he started going to the gym. Not that it is necessary that everyone would, but still. Almost all us know that it's great to have energy, and when you feel physically and mentally strong, it feels great to be alive. That is the point with porn masturbation orgasming. You are always debiting your energy, and in that process, tampering with your brain codes and reward circuit, which again is going to make you miserable and vulnerable to stress and strain attacks. Unfortunately, when you feel down with all of this, you will seek a cigarette or alcohol or again porn. Unlike quitting smoking, where the return of your physical and mental health is only gradual, quitting porn masturbation orgasm gives you excellent results from day one, starting with energy. Then your mental programming to close the water slides takes a bit of time. You need to kill the little monster, which will be explained in later chapters. Recovering your reward circuit is nothing like as slow as the slide into the pit, and if you're going through the trauma of the willpower method of quitting, any health or energy gains will be obliterated by the depression you will be going through. Unfortunately, I cannot immediately transfer you into your mind and body in 3 weeks' time, but you can. You know instinctively that what I am telling you is correct. All you need to do is use your imagination. It relaxes me and gives me confidence. This is the worst fallacy of all about porn masturbation orgasming. And for me, it ranks with the ending of the slavery. The greatest benefit from quitting is not to have to go through life with the permanent feelings of insecurity that porn masturbation orgasmers suffer from. Porn masturbation orgasmers find it very difficult to believe that masturbation to internet porn actually causes those insecure feelings you get when you are out late at night after a contentious day at home or work. Non-porn masturbation orgasmers do not suffer from that feeling. It is the porn that causes it. I only became aware of many of the advantages of stopping months afterwards, as a result of my consultations with other porn masturbation orgasmers. I refused to see my porn masturbation orgasm as causing so much of the mental tug-of-war in my mind that I am foolishly working hard to have nominal levels of confidence in my day-to-day life. Forget about getting an erection. I'm talking about focusing, taking challenges, fighting, choosing, deciding. Actions that define our lives. especially when we are often forced to act when the facts are not clear. Come to think of it, facts were and will never be clear, and hence it is to our great advantage anyway to act. Also, of note, is in dating areas as well. The fire to go forward is being misappropriated to this high-reward, zero-pain porn. If you have read some top pickup artist books and forums, what do they say? Go on a diet. Yes, of course. When you have the good hunger, your internal juices and your brain will do the rest. Copping out is not an option at all. Playing the numbers is not tiresome by no means. All pickup artists' advice in a nutshell is this: try more numbers. Even if your approach is wrong, you will be right twice a day like a broken clock. But if your mind is fighting a tug of war with effortless, easy access to a harem of online women, how would you get back on your feet when that girl ignores you? Oh, if it was a public outright rejection, I am running, not walking, to my porn girlfriend. For a long time, before Your Brain on Porn and Gary's articles, none of these things did I relate to my porn masturbation orgasming habit. But getting off it has been like awakening from a bad dream. Nowadays, I look forward to each day. Of course, bad things still happen in my life, and I am subject to normal stresses and strains. But it is wonderful to have the confidence to cope with them, and extra health, energy, and confidence make the good times more enjoyable too.